Welcome to Nevermind the Furthermore. Wait a minute, this music isn't right, the scene isn't right. Hang on. That's more like it. And now it's time for the show for all creatives. Nevermind the Furthermore. Your source for conversation, inspiration, and fun. With your host, Nicholas Anthony Tockert. He's an artist, a writer, a swordsman, and a game designer. He knows how to use the sword and axe in historical battles without anybody getting hurt too much. He's also the Manatee Man, master of marketing. And he may even have a guest or two. One thing, though, to be certain. Just don't call him a cryptid. With that, it's about time for the show. So sit back, enjoy, and have some coffee and chat with us.
Good morning, Nevermornings. I'm your host with the most, Mr. Nicholas Anthony Tockert, coming to you over the airways on WNTF. Never mind the furthermore. Never mind the furthermore is brought to you with the love and support of our good friends over at the Independent Creator Directory. That's ndcd.org, your one-stop shop for the best of the brightest authors, artists, and musicians. We're also made possible by sales of the Simple Sword, the Fighting Axe, and the Simple Spear are part of our ongoing series of Western martial arts manuals designed to help you go from having never handled the sword to teaching the art to others, and the Big Stumpy Robot line of books and games, including STLs you should be able to download from the Independent Creator Directory's website once it is back up and running. And furthermore, yes, there's a furthermore. Despite all the never-minding, hates and hellfire, Dark Secret has claimed 2 lives and is hunting an innocent child at the edge of the Appalachian Mountains. A plucky reporter, her cameraman, and a very odd cat stand against the forces of darkness. My friends, I come to you today. I come to you today on a precipice of insanity. We are beginning this week in a mixture of unspeakable oddities. Yes, I am watching the threads of reality weave and unweave in a pulsing stream of malignant, maleficent madness. What do I mean? A logic conundrum. A bit of insanity for you on this merry Monday. I am a member of an elite group of blessed lunatics, referred allegedly as the members of Uncle Carl's secret humor group. This is not for minors. However, one may claim that I am one of the more sedate individuals overall. I share an ad, a very strange ad, and I am sharing it only, and I say only, to address the upcoming, to remind you that I am indeed not a cryptid. And that being said, certain similarities between myself and certain literary figures have been commented upon from time to time. It's unjust, but I can understand it, I can see it, I can even commend the logic of it to the point of I have, of course, taken great glee in impersonating that which I am accused, being Krampus, the holiday archdemon of behavior, the dark side to the modern Santa Claus, if you will. I see a sponsored. That means Amazon itself received money to disseminate this ad. The ad itself, the imagery was simply of a Krampus dancing with a woman. The commentary implied that it was a little worse, but even in the commentary description, nothing in itself was vulgar content. Share it once, I get dinged twice for the same ad that I shared once. I am threatened to watch myself. I report. I get told I've sent it 4 times by my response came 4 times and was denied 4 times by the evil overlords who are running Facebook. I don't mind if they don't like it. That's fine. But this whole issue. And then I wake up first thing in the morning. First thing I do, I pull on. Actually, I didn't even pull on my glasses yet. I am squinting at the evil aura of flaring light that is blindingly coming off of this device right here to find out that our beloved Carl Witzman now has to moderate for the next 30 days my submissions to the green room. Yes, folks, to the secret humor place. This poor man who's done nothing wrong has to moderate my reflexive insanity to the green room. Because somehow, in this censor-powered billionaire data mining operation ran by blessed lunatics who've forgotten to be blessed and have engaged in more lunacy in all the worst ways. May the pack find them on their next run. Everything I post to the green room, which leaves me to a quandary. As I have consistently and creatively sought out to bring the joyful and the bizarre to that group of individuals as a place where I can share slightly more problematic content. And when I say problematic, I mean, dear Lord, it is a woman who appears to be a woman wearing clothes that highlight she is a woman doing something silly. I believe a Tibetan butter churning jest was made because apparently there's competitive Tibetan butter churning dances. Yes, horrific, I know. But, dear friends, the cardinal sin of sharing something that some independent author paid Facebook, Meta, whatever Zuckerberg is calling it these days, to have shared, which means it had to be approved by someone. I now have to run this issue. And of course, there's some reflexive sharing, of course, so I apologize to Carl. Of Do I continue my habit of sharing the bizarre, the odd and unconnected, as a living non sequitur of amusement for my friends, colleagues, and a couple foes? I am aware of this, realizing that each and every time I do so, it requires our beloved Carl to have to tend to it, thus making it more job like. Or do I abstain from that and pull further away from society? See, I am now running a, well, I'm trying to prevent actually. I'm running a situation wherein the Black Hat Protocol is trying to activate, and no one wants that. For those of you who are unaware, perhaps newer viewers, perhaps people who haven't known me long enough to bear witness to the monumental horror that is the Black Hat Protocol. The Black Hat Protocol / the Black Hat Clause, when invoked, states this: never, ever, ever hand me the Black Hat, i.e., dub me a villain unjustly and excessively, because eventually I will put it on and I will wear it. I am so vehemently opposed to censorship. My rules are very, 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 very simple. I believe anybody should be able to share anything that does not involve minors because they can't consent to being involved, and that as a courtesy may have some notices, i.e., gore or flashing light warnings for epileptics, things like this. Now, that being said, I firmly believe that you should have the God-given right to share, say, or do, well, not do, share, say, or express any thought or idea you have, but you do not have a freedom from consequence of sharing said thought. Right. What this does is it encourages people to say the quiet part out loud. A wonderful thing to have, because then you get to find, one moment, this is going to drive me nuts. My garbage can got taken and I have to put that out of the way or I will fidget with it. The quiet part out loud. Because then you get to know what they really think, and then you can decide whether you wish to continue communicating with them or if you feel they need to be severed from your existence. No problem. Or moderated. I mean, that's up to you. That's personal censorship and parental censorship. Fine and dandy. Indeed necessary. And if recent history has taught us nothing, it's that when someone says the quiet part out loud, they're saying things about themselves, believe them, and remember it. I'm a little zesty. Not even spicy. I'm a little zesty today. As in The Lion, the Witch, and the audacity of this to cause Uncle Carl to be inconvenienced in punishing me. I am accustomed to being punished for my beliefs. I am accustomed for being punished for my attitudes. It is something I learned a long time ago to take as a normal bit of existence. However, when people I know who've done nothing wrong in this situation have negative ramifications for actions that are none of their, it should not be their problem, I become annoyed. I become bothered. And that triggers all sorts of little sparkly bits of my thinking, pre-existing logical programs like the Black Hat Clause. Now, the problem is, I make a statement like this, and certain members of my social network will go, yes, I've always, no. They will want to poke it. Poke Nick, see him go off. And after a while, then they start going, oh, maybe we don't. No, you don't. No. It is annoying. Last night, we decided that we were going to have nachos for dinner. Nachos. I love nachos. Homemade refried beans. Chili type substance. Get some chips. You put them on the tortilla chips. You put them on the foil lined cookie sheet, covered in the meat that has been spiced and is actually excellent. Slather that with the sort of mixes of unholy quantities of dairy for those of us who may partake. Last few days have been rather physically painful for me. Nachos. I was not up to driving because I'm really not supposed to drive up with my wrist. I'm not supposed to do a great many things, but while I'm sitting here and my weight is limited, I can take my braces off and enjoy something like normalcy. The order was supposed to come in from 6 to 8. 6 to 8. Included in this order were some necessary eye drops for medical things, super glue for projects that are required, and repair. That will be discussed in my Nick Knows Nerf segment. And, but not limited to, a few little items that exist for the purpose of making sure my blood sugar stays where it needs to stay. I keep assorted snacks. Now, you'll notice I am actually having a very luxurious breakfast today. I've been indulged in no small amount of in front of you. A wonderful homemade coffee mix. We found wonderful lids. Life is good, but 8 would be late. 9 would have been late. It was nearly midnight when this coward who, there was an issue. They ran a little late at Walmart. No. Nearly 6 hours late is not a little late on a home delivery food service. They didn't knock on our door. They slunk in. I was watching for the headlights. No headlights, which means they came in, turned their headlights off, and snuck in like ninjas so that they wouldn't get yelled at. I have been requested today not to go to Walmart and speak with them directly. Not to seek out the management. Normally, I am a very tolerant person. And even a hint of a real stuff happens, apology. But when you goof up, you apologize. Thus, I was denied my nachos. This shall not stand. Is this the most first world problem I have? Yes. But more than that, I know that I'm fortunate enough to have lots of food on site. I'm fortunate enough to have lots of medication and assistive individuals that I can rely on to help me should I be having, a little bit more of a hypoglycemic situation going on. Other people who participate in that service don't. So I am seriously considering putting my braces on and driving to Watsika in what will be a painful endeavor. And the only thing that's keeping me from doing so, to start finding individuals with which I could speak face to face, knowing full well, and I will be polite, that this is not your fault. But I want it known to them, you, and everyone, simply to vent my spleen, to the goal. I'm probably not going to do that because that could upset Sander, and anytime I'm upset and he's awake, Sander is upset. So that's not fair to him. It's not fair to you, my beautiful, beloved viewers. But it comes to the point where I occasionally have to speak of such ineptitudes because there is a temptation to assign malice. In the case of the people at Facebook, I could easily rant and rage about why are they targeting me? Why am I being censored for something this stupid? But I understand, I really do, that one should never assign malice where stupidity is far more likely. And it's important that we keep this perspective. It's important that as we deal with the frustrations, well, there are people behind everything we do. And yes, you go far enough and you can find people overall responsible. But is it worth the effort? And yes, I do find as my blood sugar raises and my proper caffeination balances, me far more tolerant. But I must state the oddities of it, the petty frustrations, and the fact that that greatly impeded my plans for the evening. How we respond to that will guide us a lot in how we deal with our day. Accepting that frustrations exist means we must, for non-intended idiocy, give folks the grace, or in my case, far more grace than I would give myself. Because I would be absolutely mortified if I were responsible for somebody having issues in a Facebook group because I accidentally attempted to moderate out a paid service. That would pain me. The idea of being nearly 12 o'clock, 6 hours from the earliest. Okay, it hit. I found it at 11:30 when there was a ping that said, "Yeah, we delivered it." I would be horrified. I would be horrified, and I would say, I would do something to apologize, even briefly. And I'd be more forgiving if it weren't for the mandatory tip. Not only can Walmart not pay their drivers worth a dang, they can charge for the service and then put a mandatory tip. I despise mandatory tipping. I always tip, but never make it mandatory because, again, Yeah. How does that influence us? We're all creatives. Yeah. And I know people say, Nick, you're always talking about shopping small, blah, blah, blah. The nearest community to me is the lovely town, it would be Kentland, Indiana. And it is an absolute metropolis. Those of you who've ever been there understand that is an absolute metropolis. I cannot afford to shop at the retailers at the differences that they provide. That's the sad fact of our society. To maintain my lifestyle, I have to find, whenever possible, the cheaper versions of certain things. Now, if it's an artistic purchase, I can do that. If it is something I can offset, I can do that too. However, super glue is going to cost me super glue prices at Dollar General as much as it would be at Walmart, except I could get it for half there. So I have to make that economic decision. It's about balancing necessity and morality because we are in a system where it is hard to do both. But I think the level of frustrations that are being generated are excessive. So, what are we going to do about it? I've ranted for nearly a half hour about two very distinct. Understanding with all likelihood, I am either forgetting one, which is very possible. Oh, wait, no, because I had extremely weird service at one of my favorite restaurants. So that does give me three. But that one doesn't bear repeating. It was just a bad crew and staff day. More annoying because I only go to a restaurant about twice a month, maybe? Yeah, about twice a month. Anyway, what are we going to do about it? Now, does that mean I am completely powerless? No, and I'm going to tell you why. Before I go to running an ad and getting to the chat, because I can. My friends, I am a writer. I'm a published author, and my art has been all over the world in different functions. Niche functions, but well traveled. With my luck, someone will I'll continue to progress, and at some point, long after it would benefit me or mine, some rich person will find some way to profit off of what I do. This is how history works. But hidden in the log of things that I create is this ongoing thread of the macabre, the horror, the terror. I am really, really thinking when I take a few choice quotes for the back end of Haints and Hellfire 2, which is still coming along quite nicely. I'm tinkering. My beta readers are choosing to abandon it. I am mourning. That's okay. They're trying to force me to finish it first. I am so tempted to finish it on a cliffhanger of, but will they survive? Find out next time in Haints and Hellfire 3. And let them lump it while I take the holidays off. But now I have the annoyance of the concept of an inept and bothersome delivery driver. I have been gifted, my creative friends, the concept of an inept and bothersome delivery driver whom I could choose to characterize because they weren't smart enough to at least have the courage to simply say, I'm sorry, this didn't work out. All would have been forgiven. Out the window. A simple, basic courtesy. That's how I operate. But now I get to define the character of said individual in the back of my mind with no other input than the situation, my feelings toward the situation, and my desire to extend grace to that individual, which is considerably limited in the fictional world. This means I have the opportunity to, in a world where reality does not meet justice, on the smallest of scale, have a delightfully, wondrously fava beans and Chianti level opportunity to have, when one looks at the paradigm, when one looks at the setting, and an individual who is driving alone in the dark and has annoyed me. And what could befall near the lovely town of Aylesbury? What could befall such an individual? No. No. And now I feel cleansed because that has been shuffled and filed away. And at some point, somewhere, while you brilliant, beautiful people who have the wisdom to read my books are thumbing through the pages of Haints and Hellfire 2 or 3 or however far this goes, or perhaps even another thing, you will encounter a reference. And perhaps you will remember a Monday where your beloved Nick, author, artist, and Lord knows what else, but not a cryptid, decided that's okay. I'll just put you in my book. And now a brief segment of Nick Knows Nerf. Hi, folks. Nick Tockert with Nick Knows Nerf. Hi. Now, as I said last night, while we get off the hate train, no, I could do better than that. One moment. Oh, don't you give me a tool and take it away. Today is not the day. Now we should be able to get off the hate train. I'll take one whistle off the hate train today. We'll talk about something very important to me. This is actually, of the blasters I own, one of my absolute favorite. I am taking the power plant off, which I should leave on just long enough to explain what it is. This is the Cricket as designed by my absolute favorite dart blaster designer in the entire world. I adore what this man does. This was designed by a gentleman who goes by the name Bruce Liedl. Of Liedl Dynamics, also known as Bruce Lee. I wish I were making that up, but I'm not. I believe he's in the Netherlands. The silly American reflex of, I wonder if he knows Mike Jimmy, comes to mind. But this is a stringer. That being that this is elasticized cord, about 4 millimeter elasticized cord. Normally you'd buy this off a roll. I repurposed a hair tie that valiantly gave its life trying to do its job and failed. It's me. This is brought up because it had a bit of a calamity, which I will just put this aside, in that this piece here broke and the glue did not fully hold, so I'm going to have to reglue it. That's fine. It was a puzzle and I couldn't clamp it because I needed to eat. So it will take another attempt to repair. But in the community of things like Nerf blasters, multi-billion-dollar companies have trouble making a simple blaster that is reliable and functions. Sorry, this is a bit of a manual dexterity puzzle, but I appreciate Joe more than words can describe for putting this together for me. It meant the whole world. It really does. Which is why I was absolutely distraught that it was broken enough to say, hey, let's order some glue, super glue and get me some nachos. This device works on a very simple premise. And this was done by an individual who does all his designs, from what I can tell, in his apartment. And has this habit of giving them away for free as long as you're not using them to make money. Occasionally he makes deals. What it does is it allows the spring to be drawn back. It would be under heavy tension, but I need to take this apart because I'm really thinking after I reglue it of spray painting all the pieces and making it pretty. But string goes in, goes out, and under tension pulls forward, shooting a dart out. I find this brilliant. Not simply because it's a functioning blaster with the only quote-unquote hardware being that bit of elastic cord, but that an individual was able to come across with a simple mechanical system of tight logical tolerances. I could take that hinge out, but it's just an L-shaped piece, right? That not only allows someone, so this would be essentially the lower receiver, kind of. It's a very strange blaster because This is the part that allows for the priming. So yeah, this I guess would be as close to an upper as a device like this has. But the trick of all of the work is that this device is lined up to hinge so that when it hinges, it pulls the string and plops it right on top of this little release. And the little bit of elastic, essentially rubber band, allows the dart to be propelled. Utter genius. But not only did this absolute mad lad make a whole... he has made essentially a career of designing some truly amazing blasters, many of which I would love. They work reliably better when assembled, and fortunately for all of us, they are often quite a bit more complicated than this. But the firing mechanisms boil down to a similar device. Usually there's a pusher and magazines and things like that. However, this individual has made it made a series of blasters, actually, most of them named after sea creatures because it amuses him for reasons I can't quite ascertain, that works better. This still clocks in this little guy at around Nerf standard. So you're looking 70 to 80, a little spicy, actually. I could get more if I changed the spring out, but not a lot more. It's a bit of pain in the butt. That can be loaded from the back. It doesn't have to be breech loaded, a barrel shoved down, muzzle loaded. You can actually fire it from the back. The dart does not fall out, and it does fire. Brilliant. Yet, multi-million-dollar, multi-billion-dollar companies like Hasbro can't seem to make things like this at a price of, I think this was $1 or $2. Joe, if he's in the chat, will be able to probably vaguely remember something like how much the filament for this cost. And an independent creator made this, okay, and then shipped it digitally all over the world for free, for the simple purpose of, one, giving people a platform that can be retooled. Oh, there's a term. You can tinker with the design. You can share it in the community, your tinkerings with the design. For example, one gentleman put flaps off the side of this little upper lever to make it easier to prime. So I could easily see someone making this a tad bit longer for more power. I personally would just like to take this handle part and just stretch it a bit to make it more comfortable for my hands, which I may. I am trying to understand the intricacies of this type of simple design to design my own blaster, as that is on my creative bucket list of things I want to do at least once. Whatever I make will not be this ornate. I am also heinously tempted to take all the parts down to a CNC shop and see just how cheaply I can get something like this made out of aluminum. Again, for the sheer why nots. With the only caveat, I'd probably have to change up the pins and possibly the trigger / release mechanism, because aluminum on aluminum tends to seize. How wonderful is that? And I'm bringing this up to a group dedicated primarily to writers and artists and the like, as a tangible reminder that what we do has unexpected benefits, that what we do influences people in ways we could never imagine. I am certain that the gentleman, frankly, the genius, in my opinion, who came up with this, absolute mad lad, much like one of my other engineering heroes, Mr. Jorg Sprave, and forgive me if my speech impediment is getting a hold of me, the gentleman behind the Slingshot channel, who's just, if you're not subscribed, you should be. They're out there making things, and with modern technology, making it much easier to take an idea and make it manifest. Much like the 3D rendered miniatures that I've designed, much like any number of truly unique things that we've done artisanally, one at a time. You never know who or where your designs, your ideas will touch off. So it is vital, friends, that you put your stuff out there, because the ripple effect is real. You can put out kindness, you can put out rage. And sometimes you have to, as the previous segment mentioned, do so to process it. It is part of the human condition, provided you keep the balance. Balanced as all things should be. Or perhaps leaning into kindness, because right now the world is greatly lacking it. But the only way that a wonderful device like this can be put out is if it is permitted to be disseminated. Censorship is not simply the blocking of words that perhaps a government or a corporation does not like. Truthful facts said government or corporation does not like. But it is also mechanics. I say that because Etsy, which is a platform that allows a great many people option to share their stuff, recently has been taking down, and they're on a process to get all of them as they get to them, all the Nerf stores, because they are concerned that somebody might be able to use these designs to match real steel firearm things, and they don't want to have to sort or monitor it, etc., etc. But look at that. Look how quickly we can go from the oppression of ideas, even basic engineering ideas, to the oppression, from the oppression of spoken ideas, philosophical, to simple engineering ideas like this wonderful lever mechanism for priming a Nerf blaster. And for anyone who has security issues about me looking down the barrel, good Lord, could you have a more cleared device? Not only could this not pop, as it were, it would only be able to pop at its best a Nerf dart, and I am wearing the stuff called iPro. But understanding that should apply to you, and it should always fascinate. Allow little things that seem unrelated but interest you to do so. I wonder how much brilliance is forever lost due to the societal pressure to appear normal, to appear as your peers. Creatives, in many places, you have no peers, because the worlds that live within your head, for good or ill, unless they are shared, live nowhere else. You have within you a multiverse of wonders, and I believe everybody does. It may not manifest in ways people think. It may simply be recipes. It may be layouts for N-scale trains. It doesn't matter. What matters is the passion behind it. Now, I'm running very late today, and I understand that, in part because I was incensed. I was furious. But devices like this give me hope, because it is my deep-seated and perhaps foolish, but I don't care, belief that technology should always be aligned with giving people freedom. It is the nature of a great many of the technologies we enjoy. At their most fundamental, including the very internet and broadcast systems that are bringing my words to your ears wherever and whenever you may be. Keep doing. Never let despair get to you. Find your ideas and tinker with them. And even if they don't work here, the ideas that I have of this wondrous little device and the understanding I'm developing of devices like this and that York Sprague does and other more traditional blasters. I mean, huge shout out to Busby. If you want to talk the best customer service I've ever received from any company ever, Busby Toys. Not sponsored, but I'd love to be. Bring it into your reality. Do what you have to make it as manifest as possible. Because let's just say I never get around to making the goofy blaster I want to design. It's a possibility. I mean, I have prototype pieces lying around. I'm old school. But I could take this design and tweak it mentally and use it as to describe how I'm a child of the 80s. That means that some of us believe that life here began out there. And Glenn Larson's works affected me no small. No. And the phrase launch vipers will always be rooted in my mind. And I will always like vipers, the original colonial vipers from Babylon, I'm sorry. Sorry, I'm slipping, I'm revealing some things about myself. From the original Battlestar Galactica over the venerated X-Wing. I'm not speaking ill of the X-Wing. It's a beautiful fighter, beautiful design, iconic beyond measure, but my heart will always belong to the Colonial Viper first. Beautiful design. But this gives me, with a simple mechanical function, a better idea of how I could describe a catapult system for launching a space fighter that I might not have thought of, based on a foam flinging device by the brilliance of Bruce Lee. I believe it's Bruce. Of Lidl Dynamics, who, of course, does not sponsor anything I do because he doesn't know I exist. However, I adore his works. I have other blasters of his design. I have one more called Koepp, and I have another one coming that I will be reviewing later on. Also, expect Nick was unable to do his scheduled Nick Knows Nerf segment later. An actual program. It will be unscheduled. It will be when it's convenient for me and not interfering with anyone else on Indie CD. Or if absolutely necessary, I'll just do it and broadcast it only to my channels, just to offset for my fans. But while I am here, because a great many of you missed Friday night's program, and I understand because our friend Grim was in a room that was green, and that required content, especially one Mr. Thesis of the bladed variety, who may or may not have Christmas coming up, and may or may not have international friends. There are some tremendous sales over on the Zon, I know, but they cross international lines very well for Chinese trainers. I don't want to get too far into the observations I made. You might want to check that video out, because I had to make them without my lovely wife noticing, because I might be plotting something along that line for someone. That being said, I have neglected for nearly an hour my chat, so I will run a brief ad, blast through the chat a bit, and those of you who stick around, fine. Those of you who hop over, because I believe Daphne and Nita, I believe Nita is streaming, possibly Daphne and Nita, understand you may need to get over there. I am running late due to rants, but such rants are good for the soul. You get it out, you look at it, you go, am I being ridiculous? Why, yes, I am. Wah! Discard it, and then save the bit of the story that, oh no, an annoying delivery person may encounter a dandelion seed. Nick, it's just a dandelion seed. Let's get into the comments after a word from one of our, we shall say, sponsors. Yes, my wonderful sponsors. So who do we have an ad for? I want to run brief. Oh, I know who needs an ad.
Hello, I'm Dan Hallfield. I'm the senior editor and publisher of Abelian Webzine, the world's oldest free creative writing e-zine since 1997. Since then, we have helped over 500 amateur writers learn what they needed to turn pro. www.aphelion-webzine.com and read not only what we've got going on right now, but 28 years worth of our archives of stories. Thank you very much.
Alrighty, now let's blast through the amazing comments for a bit, answer any questions, and woo! Have said blaster fall and try to trigger my keyboard. And it says the first through the door was 9:44. According to me, I did have some technical difficulties. Don't you start with me. But first through the door was Carl Witzman. Hello, Carl. I am very sorry about the inconvenience in the green room. Do tell me your preferences. I am fully capable of putting myself on a month-long hiatus from the green room chat to keep you from having to babysit such things. And hello, Donna. And greetings. Trey, I hope you're feeling better. I hope you're still here. It's been an odd one. How are you, my dear? Hey, Trey, hello. Hello, Grant, and hello, Foxy. Either Foxy is saying 3, 2, 1, Thunderbirds are go. Wait, no. See, there we go. 5, 4. Wow, we are in the old sci-fi goodness today. Oh, no, and he's counting up, so there are 5, 7, 1, 2, 8, 6, 7, 5, 3, 9. Anyway, we have greetings and good morning from you and Indigo. Rude morning. Yeah, occasional typo from not having glasses on yet. Road morning. It was a joke, Foxy. It's okay, but we love Foxy around these parts. That was kind of rude too. Indigo found out Mom wakes up very fast with a cold nose to the lower back. That will do. And we've got let's see. Don't forget to like and follow. It's a slow morning for me, but last week was freaking busy. Well, you need to balance that out. This weekend, for a portion, I actually rested. Instead of doing my usual panic buzz, I actually laid out and took it easy for a little bit to try to allow my shattered body to do things it's supposed to. I guess that's what I get for trying to ignore the pop alarm. Understood. Wake up call, and at a time of year where I'm entering my slow period. I don't have another Kickstarter till Feb. I don't have another convention to mark. Yes, rest. For everything there is a season. Apparently, wow. I'm not going to lie, I definitely needed the rest. Enjoy slight downtime, as you should. Stagehand life is either feast or famine. I'm either super fat. Well, rest, recover, enjoy, create. Hits the volume quieter. And hello, Dawn. Dawn, of course, is the mastermind behind her fashionable felines. Buddy and Georgette. And I am sorry, I had to remove a couple of my flyers for the purpose of organizational stuff, so nothing is quite where I left it. That should surprise no one. Now we have greetings. Now say for headphones. Hey, Nick. Hey, Donna. It's a shame my friends are so far. Yes, I ad blocked. I screenshot what piece of blue leather string. I'll let you guys puzzle as to why that was in my pocket. The juxtaposition of Uncle Carl placed position of approving Nick's friend. Yes! You see the madness, the insanity. Da, 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 da. It is a great tragedy. But, my friends, my duckies, loves of my lives, we will endure. I was surprised my comment didn't get into trouble. Well, not yet. Let's just say that. True. Still not FB. Look. It's just as part of the refrain, you should respect my majestic mane. It cannot be contained by 24 mere frames. This is true. Nobody's in jail yet. Just on probation. They do not want. Guys, if I ended up in some kind of Facebook jail, one, the fury, if it interferes with my ability to use Facebook Messenger, will be tantamount to a Vesuvian eruption, because I use that to take care of a great many mentally suffering individuals. Wow. Okay, I gotta be careful. If I get too tense, the Nick Field actually statics tech out. So we're just gonna pull that down. Oh, I see the gal. I'm glad you appreciate the Tibetan gal. Yowzers, Carl. That's ironically something I've never done. Churn butter, I mean, for one day. Don't any of you ever change. If you watch the video, Foxy, you'll see that you probably. Oh, I'm neither confirming nor denying. Oh, I'm sure I've done similar. Good girl. Wow, that. Not the green room. Oh, so you guys are just having a wonderful time making dairy products. Little BB just came into my office for a pet. Aw. Mingo's been chomping on his antler. Oh, glad to hear it. Is that chocolate moonshine? No, I do not drink. The remains of this are my proprietary blend of coffee, Nesquik powder, the low sugar kind. It's called PB2, which is a mix of dehydrated peanut butter and a little bit of cocoa in there. again, not terribly sweetened, and brown sugar Splenda. What this does, and a little bit of almond milk, what this does is give you a coffee drink in the morning that has a decent protein profile, is sweet without being saccharine, raises one's blood sugar without spiking it, and tastes like a Reese's peanut butter cup, but with caffeine. I am what's called a mad lad. I take my coffee seriously. Good morning, bunnies. I'm sick and this sucks. My dear, dear, dear Robin, rest, recover, wrap yourself in the sweet comfort of large, fluffy blanketdom and just bask in all things fuzzy and gentle and purring or warm or whatever, and recover because we love you, dear. Hi, Robin. Hey, Robin. Everyone's greeting. Oh, Nick, I'm fine. It was just a joke. It's not the first time I've had to moderate posts in this group. Oh, I am aware of that. It's not the first time you've had to moderate mine, because occasionally I share an ad that Facebook put out, and then Facebook goes, don't put this content on our thing. I am making two fists. In a moment, you will not be able to see my two fists, and I will be clearly stating that this whole situation is number one. Okay. Several for me, in fact. Just every morning, that's it. That's one of my least favorite high school teachers once said, it's always the quiet ones. Mwaha. By the way, Grant Charles on some today. Woo! Got a Grant? Got a Grant guest? Got a Grant guest? Grest? Yeah. Got a Grant guest? Please, let's get some more grants for grants. Sure. Nick.exe has failed to run. Anyway, hi, Robin. Hope you feel better. Oh, I've heard legends of it. Yes, Foxy, the squat ones. I was a squat kid too. No nachos? How horrible. Indeed. Chris Walker, I still need to get you in touch with my buddy Ryan. You two would have a blast. Speaking. Morning, happy Monday to all. Hope you had a good weekend and that your week is off to a great start. Hit that like button, please do. Hey, Chris. Never attribute to mouths which is better explained by incompetence. Who first said that? I think it was Heinlein. Heinlein's razor? Probably. Nick, please play the More You Know video. I live to serve. And it's funnier the longer it takes me to get there. Now, guess whose keyboard just toasted itself? Oops. Yeah, it's not charging either, so I plugged in an older cabled one. Sorry, Foxy. Might take a nap. I've had a long weekend. Naps are always wonderful. Naps are good. Naps are wonderful. Squee. When I say a long weekend, I mean that it felt long because I was working, not because I was having fun. Oh, I understand. A weekend is 48 hours. On more than I frequently worked 44 of those back in the day. I like to think that if I were to schedule out, I still, for all the time I haven't been working outside the house, haven't caught up with the amount of time I would have if I took all my jobs that I worked parallel and all the hours and stretched them out to be 40-hour weeks. My coffee is deceased. You were gone too soon. In the arms of the angels, fly away from here. Okay. And yes, folks, if you wish to keep me in coffee, feel free to at any point give me money. I would like to have a better reason for it, but it was a bit, and if you give me a bit, I'm going to run with it. Now, where are we? I love naps, but Angie won't take them. I mourn for that. Very late on that squee dawn. Then again, Angie sleeps at night, unlike me. That makes a difference. I sleep at night and only sometimes nap during the day when the brain won't shut up. Time has no relevance for me. My tisms have tisms. Yes, no. I sleep during, yes, after the brain won't shut up. Ineptness. Ineptness. Like, somewhat akin to Lovecraft's eldritch horrors, having the total apathy towards humans. Cthulhu says, no nachos for you! Thule? Right. See up top, you see Dude Thulu? Thank you for reminding me I need to get another scepter of power for Dude Thulu. Because he is lacking one, and that could explain everything. Remember all the gargoyles that are always watching over me, just in case any of you get out of line. There we go. And of course, Bob the Skull. Because Mr. Tockert had Bob the Skull at one point in his life. Okay, no more coffee for me. I'm waxing philosophical here. Oh, please do. But I like nachos. Wow, that laugh was worthy of my Rasputin persona. Yes, every time I die and come back, more of the master comes with me. Now I need to watch that movie. Nope, it's not. I'm glad this keyboard from a former machine has a long cord so it can still be comfy. Steampunk Nerf. Based on design by Leonardo da Vinci. Indeed. I'm going to go. One moment. Here we go. I'm going to throw Lidl Dynamics' Instagram up. You can find his stuff elsewhere, and that will be all over. That's fine. Spacecraft launched by Very Big Hair Ties. Yes, your babies. Oh, Amanda should have sent you the email with the date. I don't have it handy. Arnett went out. Oh, I know. Had tons of issues. I had to restart 3 times the keyboard. Speaking of issues, my internet company has been sold from TWI, Trans World Information, to ORI. Yes, the ORI. Stargate's insult to Catholics everywhere now controls my internet broadcast service, which might explain a great deal. Or will. I'm not sure what the actual transition over, but it may explain some of my issues. And yikes. And Lidl Dynamics' promotions across a great many sites. Okay, cats are ready for lunch. You know what, guys? I'm going to run some ads. I think I will wipe up only because I think that Daphne and Nita are having a really good program. And I frankly want to hear what they're up to. So I'm going to run some ads, and I think I'll wrap this up. So I'll be back in a moment.
Dana just lost her waitressing job. TV star Joe was in a strange town doing a favor for a friend. Friendship sparks, but a snowstorm cools more than a town. The miles between them aren't the only challenge. And then there's that crazy ex-wife.
You can find all of Donna Carlene's books on Lulu.com. Find out more about her on the NDCD page at ndcd.org.
Hi, bunnies. This is Robin Yoda, just wanting to let you know I have a Twitch channel. It's twitch.tv/Robin Yoda. You can catch me there Tuesdays at 7 p.m. Pacific playing Stardew Valley, Saturdays at 2 p.m. playing The Sims 4, and Sundays at 10 a.m. Pacific playing a random game from my Game Pass library. You can also find me Mondays on my YouTube channel, Robin Yoda the Lilac Bunny. I hope to see you all there. Thanks for watching.
Welcome, welcome, bunnies. It's Robin Yoda. My Twitch stream has changed. I'm playing Saturdays and Sundays at 2 p.m. If there's any schedule change, I'll let you know by posting on X, Blue Sky, and sometimes Facebook. You can follow all my socials, Robin Yoda the Lilac Bunny, and sign up for my YouTube channel. It's also Robin Yoda the Lilac Bunny, where I repost all of my streams. So come join me over on Twitch at twitch.tv/Robin Yoda for some awesome streams. And once again, thanks for watching.
Hi, this is Kat. During the school year, I'm Mrs. Rothermel, but otherwise, I'm Rock and Roll Art Goddess, writing about my past and filming the present. I need you to join my rock and roll art army and to check out my merch on Zazzle.com. What started out as journal therapy is now 4 books, I see, and an Instagram account to blow off steam, becoming a book, with another to do the same. A short film for a friend. No, this is not the end. Peace, love, and let me art.
Yes, folks, we are running a little late, and I may give you guys a bit of a gift on the way out. Always. I try to run at least a few of you guys' ads. Foxy, I'll be running your stuff extra special. Bye. But guys, I want you to keep writing, keep drawing, keep creating. Use the material life gives you. If you have frustrations, channel them into creativity. Beyond that, guys, just remember, I love you. You should too. It's going to get better. I'm going to have a victory dance here and get on with my day. Go over to Daphne and Neatus if you're an adult. Go to the Independent Comic Network. Indie Comics Network. They're streaming. I've been letting them run in the background for their numbers. I will see you sooner than you expect. So expect me when you see me. Toodles.